What's up, Mexico? Just saying hello and ask me a question. Go ahead.
So
Do
first
it.
of all, LP,
Yes.
thanks for being here with us and for
Thank you.
chatting with us. Welcome to Mexico.
Thank you.
How has it been?
So good. I love Mexico.
When did you arrive?
Last night.
Okay.
Yeah. I went to a friend's wedding in Tulum, so I
Beautiful place.
just jumped over here.
Great. So let's start with the questions. Do you remember what inspired you to become a musician?
um, really, ultimately, I think it was my just kind of realizing, my mom passed away, and I'm realizing that life is short, and you should do something you love because if you can, because it just like it makes so much of a difference in your life. You don't know when you're gonna get out of here, so you might as well enjoy it.
Yeah, of course. So were you encouraged by your family to be a musician, or was it difficult?
No, not at all. No, my family are all like doctors and lawyers and stuff, and they encourage that. They encourage academics and stuff like that.
Okay.
But again, do what you want.
Cool, that's great. So you have written songs for Rihanna, Christina Aguilera, and many others. So what's the difference between writing for others and writing for your own discography?
I think when you write for others, it gives you a little break from yourself, and you can like kind of tap into someone else's like life and what they're about, and sometimes I just like write like really universal stuff, that's just like kind of pertains to everybody, it's just what we're all going through.
Cool. So these pieces that you wrote or ended up in other people's discographies, were they intended initially to them, or did you write it with yourself in mind?
It depends. Sometimes, most of the time, I do write it for myself, and then it got picked up by somebody else. But I think what's true for me is probably true for some other people sometimes.
Great. So we're days away from listening to Heart to Mouth. You're gonna release it this Friday. Are you excited about that?
Very excited.
What can you tell us about this album?
I just kind of kept writing more stuff about my life and what I go through, on a daily basis, the highs and lows kind of thing. It's a bunch of emotional songs, I try to write, there's things that like, it's not always like about me in real time, but a lot of times it is as well. But I think I just try to like, kind of get my feelings across, poetically and literally at the same time. I feel like I love poetry and all that, but I also really kind of need to express what's going on in my head. So I try to do that, both of those things at the same time.
Great. Is it hard to expose yourself through your music to other people, like letting them hear your thoughts out loud?
Not really, no. I feel pretty comfortable telling it like it is, in there, in the head.
Cool. So we have heard 3 songs out of 12 that contain this album. How was the process of choosing these pieces as singles?
For it was just like what was kind of ready, to be
Okay.
honest with you, like the songs that were ready and just what we felt like immediately, just what like felt good, so we just like, my managers, myself, and my producer, we felt like some of these just felt like they were going at fans that, things that fans like from previous records, so that like we can like bring out newer stuff later, like stuff
Okay.
that was a little different later.
Before you started writing or recording anything from this album, how did you envision Heart to Mouth?
I don't know, I didn't really have any kind of super vision toward it. I just felt like these songs started to feel like they went together. It's like hard to explain, it's just like putting an outfit together or something, You're just like, this looks good, this feels good.
And so you didn't have an idea about how do you think it turned out?
I think it turned out good. I mean, I don't know, that's really for other people to decide, I think, but I think, it turned out cool, and I stand behind it. It feels like a good piece of work, I guess.
Cool. What would you say are the highlights for you on this record?
All highlights, man. No fat. No offense. It's I don't know. I think Special feels really cool, like in a way, just because it's like kind of more rockin' than a lot of stuff I've done. Shaken feels like a little bit different than stuff I've done. I really I like the way Dreamer came out. One Night in the Sun is you know, a really moody piece. I like that. I don't know. I like the whole record.
I think it's great that you are evolving and that your sound is also evolving.
Oh,
Don't you
thanks,
think?
man. Yeah.
So as you know, this is a live chat. So
Yeah.
we're gonna read some questions from
Bring
your
out
fans.
the wolves, the hounds, let them loose.
Anna is asking, which song has changed you the most?
I mean, I think Lost on You has changed my life the most, you know, just because it was the first song that like a lot of people heard of me. So it gave me the chance to reach a larger audience, which was very cool.
Okay. They are asking, when are you going to have a concert by yourself here in Mexico?
It's all a
Oh, I
concert.
hope soon. I'm predicting next year. I think it'll be sometime next year, you know, after Viva Latino.
Actually, that was like the most asked question. It's been like hundreds of
That's
questions.
right.
Yeah, you have like
Way to
a
go.
really
Mexican
strong
fans, I
fan
love you.
base here.
So cool.
So next year you're gonna be here at Viva Latino, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna find
Yeah,
a spot
I'll
on
find
your
a spot.
schedule.
yeah, I hope so. I really do.
So we have more questions.
They're asking, did you watch Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie?
I did watch. I was wondering. Okay, yes, I did watch it. I thought it was really cool.
What did you think about Rami Malek's performance?
I think he did a great job. I wish it was rated R so we could see a little bit more like, you know, reality. I think it was a little bit Disney,
Yeah,
you know, compared to like his life. You know, like
exactly.
this is not a man who like had a Disney life.
And I actually saw on an interview you had that Bohemian Rhapsody was the first rock song that you heard.
Yeah.
How was the experience?
It was just insane, you know. I mean, it was like, you know, it hadn't come out. I mean, it was like just like off, you know, one of my friend's dad's records, and I just couldn't believe it. You know, it was like one of those songs. I think it was the first example as a child, being like the first time. Because as a kid, like I think, you know, there's a point where music is just like playing and you're not paying attention, and then all of a sudden you hear something and you're like,
Why is that?
Yeah, and that was the first time I did that too, so it's cool.
So I assume you're a fan of great singers. You are one yourself, and I also read that your mother used to sing opera, and also you took some lessons. And
Not from her, but she encouraged me to train a bit just so I could hold on to what I had and get a bit better. It's like because I like sing very like I belt, and obviously loud and high, and you know it's good to know what you're doing with your voice before you keep doing that and hurt yourself.
exactly, and you're actually super great at that.
Oh, thanks.
I was watching some performances on YouTube, and you actually sound just like the record, or even
Oh,
better.
thanks.
So
Watch me like
kudos to
completely
you.
shit the bed on this performance. Sorry.
So talking more about the album, who would you say influenced it, Heart to Mouth,
Who?
or whatever?
What? I think, you know, kind of seeing the dark side of you know, not the dark side, but the lonely side of achieving you know, a dream or you know, a life's work. I think it, like, you know, you realize how much I realized how much I've sacrificed over the years, you know, in you know, all kinds of ways, like, you know, relationships and mostly relationships, I think, you know, of romantic and non-romantic kinds, and just that, you know, and how then, you know, getting to the next level, you sacrifice even more, you know, you know, some privacy, you know, your relationship again, because it's like, you know, a lonely kind of vibe. And, you know, there's so much good about it, don't get me wrong. No, boo-hoo, poor me kind of vibes, but it was definitely, you know, like, wow, it's a lot, you know, it's a lot of work. It's hard, you know.
It is, yes.
And I, you know, and I think I've like, I always respected people who did this anyway, but I think, you know, you respect even the people that you may not like, even like their music or something, you kind of really respect them like even more, because nobody could do it if they didn't work hard. Like even people that it happens easy for still have to work hard to like do all the things. It's a lot.
Yeah, so you have been releasing albums every 2 years after you took
Mhm.
the long hiatus.
That hiatus was basically a writing hiatus for other people.
For other
getting-
people,
yeah.
So is this 2 years gap?
I was just like sitting there in like the Bahamas, like,
Who am I writing for?
yeah.
So is this 2 year gap something conscious or it just happens casually?
I mean, you know, I feel like I barely had time to get it done even in that time because I was like really just touring and you know, I wouldn't have had time. I had to wait till this record cycle kind of was almost over, you know.
Cool. So do we have more questions from fans?
We do. Tiziana asks, will there be some songs, or any songs from the new album that you will find hard to sing at shows?
I don't know. I have to see. I don't think so. I can usually compartmentalize and be like, you know, not think about what it's about or you know, but I don't think there's not, you know, sometimes like recovery is difficult, you know, like just because it's so soft, you know, and you feel like usually it's sandwiched in between two songs where I'm like screaming my head off, so I'm just like, ah.
Okay. Magda wants to know what's your favorite song from the new album?
I don't really have one, but sometimes I really like. I think "Shaken" I really love because it's just like so weird, you know. Like it's like a little bit different. But I really love "Dreamer." I really love oh gosh, "Special." Yeah.
Okay.
When I'm over you.
Oh,
When I'm over you.
okay. They is asking, which was the song that took you the longest to write from this album?
Gosh, I would say maybe "One Night in the Sun" because I switched it up a lot and just like kept rewriting stuff. But yeah, probably that one.
Okay.
And "The Power." That took a minute.
Okay. Everyone, well, there are a lot of people saying hi. And,
Hi.
And they love you.
I love you too.
Like from Poland and from Colombia, they want to know when
Colombia.
you're going to
Hello, hello.
Colombia.
I wanna get down there, too.
Argentina also.
Argentina. I wanna go to
Yeah.
Argentina.
Do you have plans to go to Latin America?
I don't yet. Like they're not, you know, done. But I do, of course. Dying to go to Latin America.
Latins are wild crowds.
They are.
Yes.
I can tell.
So talking about this, you were here at Corona Capital in
I was.
2012
Yeah.
before you had any of
Yeah.
your latest 3 records.
Mhm.
So how was experience with the Mexican crowd?
It was great, and I remember it was really funny. It was after the show, and there was a signing after the show, and there's a guy rock band like 4 like dudes, you know, like hot dudes, and they were like waiting to like sign things, and there was like no one at their table, and I had like 200 women like down, and I was very surprised myself, but like they kept looking at me like, the fuck who is that, you know, and I was like, yo, what's up? It was very funny, and I was like, I love Mexico at that moment.
So how was your favorite experience here in Mexico? The favorite part?
Of when? Of now?
Back then.
Back then? I mean, that moment was pretty cool. Just the show was great, you know. It was a very cool show, and I just could tell that I needed to get down here again, and it took like 5 years, but yeah.
And from now?
Yeah. From now, just
Yeah.
sitting here with you, man, shooting shit. It's
Oh,
good.
thank
It's
you.
good times. Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
So for those who don't know, she was just met outside by
The
a
fan
lot
club.
of fans. Yeah,
I love my Mexican
passionate
fan club.
fans.
Yeah, very, very cool.
And we know that tomorrow you will be performing at a concert from radio station Alpha.
Mhm. Okay.
Are you planning to play some of the new songs that haven't?
A couple. Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely one that not many people have heard, but some people still. Yeah. I'm not quite ready with the new material live yet, but almost.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
They need to be ready on Friday to stream and buy the
Yeah,
new
yeah.
album.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we have more questions?
Yeah. Carla says, how do you take care of your voice?
I do a lot of vocal warm-ups, and I steam my voice. That's really, really good when you're flying a lot, because flying is like so drying, you know. It's like really like it's the worst for your voice. So I try to warm up. I do some cool downs if I've really sung hard, and I steam.
Okay.
Mm.
Like, do you have some kind of ritual before you go on stage?
Yeah, I do that. I warm up and yeah, I just kind of like meditate a little bit, chill out. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're asking if you're going to give if you're going to sign autographs.
Tomorrow? I don't know. I'm not sure. Sometimes it depends on what the venue's like, and there's a lot of other bands, so I don't think so, but I'll try. But
Okay.
if I see you, I'll try.
Okay.
Okay.
Natalia is asking, what's the strangest thing a fan has ever asked you?
Ask me?
Yeah.
Probably just like, sign their stuff. I mean, they're, somewhere on their body. It's not strange.
Okay. Well, they're asking you to play. A lot of people are asking you to play. But in a moment.
In a moment.
In some
1
minutes.
second,
Be
please.
patient.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Also asking. What do you think about a lot of little children, following you, like 11-year-old?
What about the children? What about the children?
What do you think about a lot of children being your fans?
Oh, I mean, how cool is that? I'm so lucky. I love kids, and I think it's really cool to see the span of ages of people that come to my shows and come up to me. I'm always amazed, and it'll be in the same moment. I'll have like a 9-year-old kid, a 25-year-old person, a 65-year-old person. It's really, really cool. It makes me feel like I'm doing it right, because I feel like I want to reach people, not so much on a cool level or a hip level, just on a level, on a human level. So it's nice.
Yeah. Okay. Another question is, how many songs did not make it to the new album?
So many. I wanted to almost put out a double album, so a lot of songs. Probably 10 or 15 songs, and then I'm gonna be writing more. So we'll see.
Are you planning to release maybe a deluxe edition with some of
You
those
never
songs?
know. That is probably gonna happen. We'll see.
They have
Hey,
to
listen,
buy the
you
album.
got these songs now. It's like giving a kid like a bunch of candy, and then he's like, "Ooh, "Can I have more? Do I get any
Yeah.
more?"
Yeah, they're always thirsty for
Yeah,
more
right.
music.
Right? I don't know. It's nice, but now it's so nice. We can put out music whenever you want. Really, sorta.
So regarding that, what do you think about streaming services and how the industry has changed?
I think it's great. I think at first it seemed like a lot of like people getting something for nothing, But it was like a rough transition, But I think it's really cool, and it's a really it really makes music very accessible. It makes music kind of available for everybody, and it spreads the music faster and more,
Cool.
faster and farther.
And actually, you released 2 albums in the early 2000s, Heart Shaped Scar and Suburban Sprawl and Alcohol.
Mhm.
And you were signed to, Ellie Reid signed you, and then you said no thank you.
Well,
they're-
I didn't say no thank you. I just wrote 100 and some songs, and nothing happened. So what are you gonna do? But I wasn't ready, clearly, or it wasn't ready.
But it was for the best,
Yeah,
right?
it was for the best.
Cool. And what can you tell me about Lost on You? I actually heard that I saw Morrissey like a couple of days ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Did you see? Did he have that thing before he went on?
yeah, exactly. The
How cool
videos.
is that? That's very nice.
Yeah,
he told me about it. Yeah.
You were I don't remember if after or before
Yeah.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
With Rebel Rebels.
Yeah, I think he said it was like the Ramones, then me, and then David Bowie. And I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
And actually,
Thank
I was surprised
nice.
by your vocal range. It's like
Yes.
super huge. You're doing like
That's good. I have big hands. You know what that means? Big hands, big vocal range. Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy.
You're up in the sky with the birds. So did this ability just came to you naturally, or were you
Yes
trained
and no.
to do it?
Yes or no. I mean, I knew I could do it, but I think I just kept writing songs that went higher. And so I just kept going higher, and then I was you know, I was performing live so much for a while, you know, like before things happened, before my first major label deal. And I remember just, you know, having to sing every night and doing my vocal warm-ups because otherwise I would lose my voice, you know, and it just kept making me go higher. And I don't know, I think it was like me trying, you know, it's like anything, it's almost like a sport, you know, like where you're like, oh, I can jump this high, right? Let me try to jump higher, you know,
Higher,
like,
yeah.
or like a skateboard trick or something like that. It's like, oh, I could go down this amount of stairs, you know.
Cool.
I think I'll go down more next time.
And
Yeah.
do you know how high you can go?
I don't know. I've been told I have like 5 octaves, you know, but I don't
Wow.
know. I feel like people throw that around easily, but I think I can go up to what do you think I can go up to?
Test it out.
The seventh octave or 6th?
Let's see.
Out of nowhere.
A sharp. Yeah, I would say I would stick to A sharp. That could be. It could get messy.
Great.
Yikes! The dogs are like. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, that's usually something that a lot of singers like Mariah Carey, Christina Aguilera
Yeah.
do. But do you do it differently? Like
Oh, that whistle tone thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really does that well, and so does Ariana Grande. I mean, wow. I do that whistle tone, but not like as I don't think as high as them. I have, but I don't know. I just do it a little different. But yeah, I love that thing. I only started being able to do that I think in the last like I don't know 7 or 8 years. It just started happening. You know, it's like, you know.
Cool. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Do we have more questions from?
We do, but we have a lot of people who are asking you to sing since you're
Yeah.
already doing it. So,
Shut up and sing. Okay.
so I think it's time.
Yeah.
It's time. For
All right. I'm only doing one song.
Only one song?
I think so, right? How many songs am I supposed to do?
You can
Just one
do
song?
as many songs as you want,
Ah,
We can be here.
okay.
all night long. You
Alright.
choose.
Never know. All right, cool. Let's try it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When you get older, plainer, saner, will you remember all the danger we came from? Burning like embers, falling tender, longing for the days of no surrender years ago. And will you know? So smoke up if you got on, 'cause it's going down. And all I ever wanted was you. I'll never get to heaven 'cause I don't know how. Let's raise our glass or two to all the things I've lost. Nick Poulius, by the way.
What's up?
What up?
They are saying that they love it. The amazing song.
Thank
It's
you.
their favorite song.
Thank you very much.
And they keep saying that they want a solo concert here in Mexico. So
Oh,
they
hell yeah.
probably have to
It's
push
gonna happen.
the managers.
It'll happen. It'll happen. No question.
So do we have more questions from fans?
Well, they're going crazy right now.
Yeah, a lot of hearts and
Yeah.
Aw.
I love you. I loved it. Such a beautiful soul. You're the
Aw,
best.
thanks. So sweet.
Someone saying that like you helped them get through a breakup.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Thanks.
Luzbel is saying that she loves you and thank you for giving us all your love through your songs.
Thank you.
Do you have any message for them?
Just that I love you too, and thank you for listening. And I just, I hope you'll keep listening, and I'll keep writing songs and try to, keep going, keep it going.
And they keep asking you to sing another song.
What songs we do? Do we have another song? Oh yeah, it's 2 girls. We'll do Girls Go Wild. Because they do, they go wild. Hold on, let me do a little tuning action. Can I sit up on this? I just feel so scrunched.
Yeah, of course.
It's like trying to sing when you're like a little accordion. Okay. Let's do it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've been caged, I've been hounded, I've been hunting and tamed. I'm the outlaw of our side, ready to rage. I'm in search of a heart Thank you guys.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
so sadly, we're out of time. So,
Okay.
do you have any message to your Mexican fans?
Just thank you. I'm so happy to be in Mexico, and I can't wait to come back. And I hope to see you all very soon. Okay. Thanks.
And tell them to don't forget to stream the new album.
Don't forget to stream the new album Heart to Mouth, and it comes out December 7th. But When I'm Over You is out today, I believe, and so you can check that out. But thanks for listening. All right, bye.